Welcome to Wall Street Unspun with your host, Peter Schiff.
But it's a giant bubble in search of a pin, and it's going to find one.
Are you confused with the ups and downs in the economy and what it means to you?
Don't believe the propaganda, and that's what it is. When you're listening to an analyst on a lot of these popular financial shows, you're not getting investment advice. You're getting propaganda.
Get ready to untangle the web of misinformation provided by the mainstream media.
These firms are trying to sell you stocks. Their real clients, their banking clients, are trying to get rid of stock.
And now, here's your host of Wall Street Unspun, the president of Euro Pacific Capital and a licensed broker with a passion for truth. It's Wall Street Unspun with Peter Schiff.
Hi, everybody. This is Peter Schiff with another episode of Wall Street Unspun Midweek Market Update. Well, unfortunately, I had bought some expensive equipment, and I had it all plugged in to make the radio show actually sound professional. And I had it all ready to go, but there's something wrong with the power cord. I don't know if it's where I'm plugging it in, where I'm doing this, or if it's a short in the cord, but it kept cutting in and out. So now I have to do the phone again from a regular cordless phone line in the house. So we'll have to try again next week, but I slept all that equipment that we just bought out here from Connecticut and had it all hooked up and ready to go. I had the headphones on. I had this whole board lined up. And so unfortunately, we're back to where we started. Anyway, the number to call, if you want to call in, 888-678-9597, 888-678-9597. Also, I want to remind everybody about the video blogs that I've been recording. I didn't do one today because I'm doing the radio show, but I recorded one yesterday and on Monday. I'm trying to do them as often as I can. So if you haven't already signed up for the video blog, make sure to go to the Europac website, europac.net, and sign up. I know there are some people that have copied them onto YouTube, but if you sign up, you'll know about them, immediately, and, you can see them the day I record them instead of maybe the following day. But anyway, they're all available on my website at www.europac.net. I am scheduled to be on Fox Business tomorrow, I think around 3:30 Eastern Time. Not Fox News, Fox Business. I haven't been on Fox News all year. They just haven't been willing to book me. So I'm not sure when. I have been doing, though, this thing every Wednesday, which I did today on foxnews.com, which is the Internet, where apparently they're still willing to allow me to appear. But this show that I'm doing with Judge Napolitano, Freedom Watch, they're hoping, the people that are producing it on Internet are hoping that the show can be popular enough that they can make it a Fox News show. And hopefully I would still be a part of it, because apparently I'm one of the reasons, or the main reason the show is as popular as it is. But it also has Ron Paul on every week, and they also have Lou Rockwell on every week, and the Judge is on. So it's a pretty good cast, and we all kind of feel the same way. And, we have Tracy Burns on sometime, Cody Willard. So if you haven't looked at that, I think I'm going to send out a link to the show, one of the YouTubes of the show. So make a point to try to look at it. And I think one of the things they want to see, it's already getting pretty popular online, but I think the producers, if they can show that the show is even more popular, then maybe they can convince Fox News that there's a good market, there's a good audience for this type of program, and then maybe I would still be a part of it, and somehow I can get back on Fox News. I don't know, the scuttlebutt around the town is that they're a little bit upset about the Peter Schiff was right video, and who knows. But in any event, at least I'm doing this show, and I am doing Fox Business tomorrow. I don't really have any other appearances that I'm aware of. Again, if there are any media appearances, they are going to be announced up on my website at www.europac.net. I think, the one thing I think probably I've noticed about the media appearances is that for a while they would have me on all the time because I was the only bear, and they needed somebody to balance all the bulls. Now, of course, there are plenty of bears out there. So, I guess they don't need me as much because they have other people that will say negative things, except they don't have the credibility that I do because they were saying positive things, before the market fell apart and before the economy fell apart. And, of course, most of the people who are now negative want the government to do something. They're negative on the market, but they want the government to fix the problem. So they still don't understand the crisis, but I think most in the conventional media don't want to be too critical of the Obama administration right now. They don't want to be critical of the government because they're hopeful that what the government is doing is going to work. And they're afraid that if they're too negative on television, that they will produce a negative psychology that will undermine what the president is trying to do. But the reality is, there's nothing to undermine. If Barack Obama succeeds, if Congress succeeds, then we all lose. The economy will fail. There's nothing to hope for. It's like I think I made the analogy last week. If someone's about to throw gasoline on a fire, what's the point of hoping that it's going to put it out? It doesn't matter how much I hope, that gasoline is not going to put out that fire. I should tackle the guy. I should stop him from putting the gasoline on, so it doesn't matter. And of course it's not a function of psychology. It doesn't matter what I say or anybody else says on television. There's no way we can talk ourselves into a recession, depression. And of course, the whole idea behind not wanting to have too much negativity on television is they don't want the consumer to feel nervous about spending. But to the extent that I can scare somebody out of spending, I can get somebody not to buy that thing that they really can't afford, but to save their money instead, that actually helps the economy. This gets back to the whole idea that spending or the stimulus will actually help. It was interesting on the show that I did today with Judge Napolitano. We had John Stossel as a guest, and he's got a special on Friday on 2020 where they're talking about the bailouts and they're talking about other problems. And I asked John Stossel a question. I said to him, John, is anybody mentioning the fact that the whole concept of the bailouts is misguided? That the last thing we need is more stimulus in the form of getting Americans to spend more and borrow more, that's how we got into this problem, that what's happening now is actually part of the cure, that the cure involves a reduction in borrowing, a reduction in spending, that we need credit to be contracted to consumers so that credit could be available to businesses to expand. I went over this, and I said, is anybody saying that? And then John Stossel said to me on the air, he said, well, yes, that is actually the point of the segment. He said, unfortunately, none of the economists that we interviewed put it as eloquently as you did. It's too bad that you weren't on my show. And of course, John Stossel doesn't realize that we've been contacting the producers of his show for over a year trying to get on. Send them all my material, send them my books, send them lots of pitches, yet I couldn't get the John Stossel's producers to actually get me on the show. But when I ended up talking to John himself on the air, he says, God, I wish you were on my show. So this is a lot of the problem that we end up getting. I've been in touch with producers from the early, the Daily Show or from Bill Maher. A lot of these guys that are trying to be, I've been very critical of the financial media, of the coverage on CNN, CNBC, on Fox, trying to point out, hey, wait a minute. I was on those networks. They're talking about the fact that nobody on these channels saw this coming, that nobody got it right, that nobody predicted the problems in the housing market, the problems in the financial market. And when I try to point out to these people that's not true because I was on these shows, here's the proof, they come up with some kinds of crazy reasons why, that doesn't matter and I can't come on. I think they like to say that nobody predicted it and none of these shows did. And so they kind of want to dismiss. In fact, I was watching today, I think when with the Daily Show, he was actually challenging. He said, anybody from CNBC, anybody that's on, anybody that's a regular on any of the shows, and he mentioned anybody from Kudlow and Company, they want to come down, give us a call. Well, I know that's not true because I called, tried to get on, they said no. And I think I've become at least a regular recently on the Kudlow Show. That's one place that you can see me. I did Kudlow, I think on Monday, and I've been doing it consistently every week. And so it's interesting because for a long time, that was one of the shows that I couldn't get on, and I was on a lot of other shows. Now it's one of the few shows that will have me on, so I think that's a good thing for Larry Kudlow. In fact, I was on again last time with Art Laffer, and basically after I said something.